You know that feeling when you're talking to someone? Everything seems fine on the surface, but there's this weird knot in your stomach you just can't explain. Like your body is picking up on something your mind hasn't figured out yet. Maybe it's the way they look at you. Or how their voice changes when you share good news. Or just this strange coldness that doesn't match their words. Our instincts are rarely wrong when it comes to people. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, devoted his life to studying what he termed the shadow. It's basically all the ugly stuff we don't want to admit about ourselves. The jealousy, the resentment, the insecurity. And when we can't deal with those feelings, they leak out in how we interact with others, especially people we claim to care about. And today, we're going to talk about 10 clear indicators that someone in your inner circle actually dislikes you. Sign number 1, contempt disguised as humor. The first clue that something's off is when a person repeatedly cracks jokes about you, but yet flips the blame onto you the moment you stop playing along. Sure, most of us poke fun at the people we care about. That's pretty normal. But there's a big difference between friendly teasing and someone who routinely goes after the things you insecure about while pretending it's all harmless fun. They'll comment on how you look, the choices you make, your job, your dating life, or anything else they know is sensitive. And the second you show even a hint of discomfort, suddenly you're too sensitive, you can't take a joke, or you're making it a big deal. That's manipulation hidden behind a laugh. They get to undermine you while making you feel wrong for reacting at all. It would almost be clever if it weren't so damaging. What you really need to pay attention to is how often it happens and what's behind it. Does this person always find something to poke at? Do their jokes target the same weak spots again and again? Does their laughter feel kind, or does it carry a sting? Your intuition can tell the difference between someone who's genuinely joking around and someone who takes pleasure in watching you squirm. Jung pointed out that we tend to project our unresolved issues onto other people. So when someone keeps using humor as a way to cut into you, there's a good chance they're battling the same insecurities themselves. Their jokes aren't actually about you. They're reflections of their own unresolved pain. What is the bottom line? If someone reduces you and then insists, you're overreacting. That's not friendship. That's concealed resentment wrapped in a smile. Sign number 2, selective celebration of your wins. The next warning sign appears in the way certain people respond when life moves in a positive direction for you. Notice who responds with real warmth when things go well, and who suddenly grows quiet, detached, or oddly uninterested. A person who harbors hidden resentment will congratulate you easily for small, insignificant wins, grabbing the perfect parking spot, catching a discount, finding a cute outfit on sale. Those moments cost them nothing, so their approval flows freely. The shift becomes obvious when something meaningful happens. You advance in your career, you buy a home, commit to a long-term partner. You reach a major personal goal you've invested time and effort into. Their reaction changes instantly. Any praise sounds strained or half-hearted, like they're forcing the words out of obligation. They may rush to change the subject, or they'll subtly undercut the moment. The market's pretty easy to navigate right now. They probably didn't have many candidates to choose from. Well, the real difficulty starts after this. They can't allow your success to stand on its own. They feel compelled to dilute it with a warning, a caveat, or some attempt to shrink what you achieved. This usually comes from an internal struggle. Your progress highlights the places where they feel stuck or dissatisfied. Jung noted that people often react negatively when they're confronted with qualities or accomplishments they wish they had themselves. Your momentum stirs up their own frustrations, and instead of facing those emotions, they chip away at your joy to protect their ego. The difference between genuine support and concealed resentment becomes unmistakable. Someone who values you celebrates every win. Someone who envies you only tolerates the victories that don't make them uncomfortable. Sign number 3, convenient memory gaps. A third sign can be seen in how well someone keeps track of the details that shape your life. People who actually care tend to hold on to the things that matter to you. They remember when you're preparing for a crucial meeting. They know the date of your mom's surgery, and they recall the situations that have been weighing on you. These things stay with them because they pay attention, and your experiences matter to them. When someone carries unspoken resentment, their recall shifts dramatically. Important dates slip their mind even when you reminded them days earlier. The interview you talked about more than once somehow vanishes from their awareness. And they forget the foods you can't eat even after countless meals together. Yet they seem to have flawless memory when it comes to details about people they feel positively toward. This isn't ordinary forgetfulness or life getting busy. It's an unconscious indication of disinterest. Their mind simply doesn't assign importance to information connected to you because, at a deeper level, they don't value the relationship the way they present it. What deepens the sting is the aftermath. Confronting them about the pattern often results in exaggerated apologies or dramatic surprise. They claim they didn't mean to and insist they'll try harder, but the same behavior repeats. Eventually, you start questioning whether expecting basic attention is unreasonable. Jung suggested that this kind of selective remembering functions as a quiet form of psychological distancing. When dislike or irritation sits beneath the surface, the mind avoids investing emotional energy. Forgetting becomes a way of keeping space while outwardly acting supportive. People who truly care won't need repeated reminders about the things that matter in your life. Your experiences stay with them because you hold real significance. Sign number 4. Hidden sabotage. A fourth indicator appears in the small behaviors that repeatedly interfere with your momentum. This kind of undermining rarely looks deliberate from the outside. No one is openly trying to derail your plans or block you outright. Instead, it comes through minor slip-ups that always seem to occur at the exact worst moment. They forget to share the information you needed before a deadline. They offer guidance that sounds supportive, but reliably sends you off course. They agree to assist with something meaningful, then handle it poorly or fail to follow through altogether. A single mistake isn't an issue. Everyone overlooks things. But when these lapses begin forming a pattern, always surfacing when you're depending on them, it points to something deeper happening beneath their awareness. Maybe they heard about a position that aligns perfectly with your goals, but didn't mention it until the posting closed. Maybe they said they'd deconnect you with someone influential, and then kept postponing it until the chance disappeared. Or they committed to helping you prepare for a significant event, only to arrive unprepared, inattentive, or not show up at all. What's operating underneath is a quiet sense of threat. Your growth disrupts the narrative they hold about themselves. Jung noted that people who avoid facing their own frustrations often externalize that discomfort by introducing obstacles into your path even without consciously choosing to. They shield themselves from the unease of watching you reach milestones they haven't achieved. Your setbacks become a buffer for their ego. The consistency of the behavior reveals the truth. A rare slip is normal when their actions repeatedly interfere with your opportunities, while their own position remains untouched. You're dealing with someone whose internal conflict contradicts the support they claim to offer. Sign number 5. Emotional unavailability at crucial times. This one becomes clear during the periods when you're at your lowest. Life eventually forces everyone into moments of vulnerability. Heartbreak, grief, medical issues, personal setbacks, and those situations reveal the true nature of the people around you. Those who care make space for you. They reach out, stay present, and offer steady companionship, even when they can't fix anything. A person who carries quiet resentment disappears exactly when you need someone. They're eager participants in the fun parts of your life's social events, lighthearted gatherings, celebrations, but when you're struggling and looking for real support, they become scarce. Suddenly, they're overloaded with commitments. Their replies turn brief and empty, offering no real comfort or engagement. They might send a quick acknowledgement of what you're re-dealing with and immediately shift the conversation away from your pain. What deepens the hurt is noticing how available they are for others. They'll rearrange their day to help another friend move. They'll listen for hours while someone else vents about their problems. Yet somehow there's always a barrier when it comes to showing up for you. This isn't about a packed schedule. People make room for what matters to them. Their absence during your most difficult moments reflects how little emotional priority they place on the relationship, no matter what they say. Jung described a form of internal distancing where individuals detach from another person's suffering to avoid confronting discomfort within themselves. Their refusal to offer support often stems from their own unresolved issues. But that docility diminished the sting of realizing they chose not to stand beside you when it counted. Sign number 6. Speaking about you behind your back. The 6th sign involves what they say when you're not in the room. Individuals who hold resentment rarely address it openly. Instead of facing you directly, they take their opinions elsewhere. Sharing distorted retellings that cast you in an unfavorable light, they highlight your missteps, stretch small moments into dramatic narratives, quietly remove any details that would portray you fairly. The result is a version of you shaped by their bias rather than reality. What makes this difficult to detect is how invisible it is at first. You may sense a shift in how people interact with you. Shorter conversations, uneasy glances, or subtle distance that wasn't there before. You might notice friends becoming strangely reserved or hesitant, yet no one offers a clear explanation. Eventually, someone may reveal that this person has been circulating negative stories about you for a long time, and by the time the truth reaches you, the impact has already spread. The real harm lies in how this behavior corrodes relationships quietly and efficiently. Your connections weaken without your knowledge, leaving you to repair misunderstandings you never had the opportunity to address. You're forced to confront the aftermath of a narrative you didn't create, shaped by someone who lacked the integrity to speak honestly. This approach is rooted in insecurity and avoidance. They want to inflict damage but shy away from the discomfort of direct confrontation. Whispering behind closed doors allows them to injure you without facing the consequences of doing it openly. Jung noted that when people project their inner shame outward, they often attempt to reduce others to ease their own discomfort. Their gossip is a reflection of their internal chaos, not your worth. Unfortunately, understanding the psychology behind it doesn't erase the destruction it leaves behind. Sign number 7. Control masked as concern. The 7th sign appears when someone tries to dominate your decisions under the disguise of caring about you. They constantly question your choices, no matter how well thought out they are. You mention wanting to switch careers, and they immediately list all the reasons it's a terrible idea. You're excited about a new relationship, and they point out every potential red flag they can manufacture. You share plans for a major life change, and they respond with doubt, warnings, and thinly veiled disapproval. What they frame as protective advice is actually an attempt to keep you under their influence. They want you to second-guess yourself, to feel incapable of making good decisions without their input. Every conversation leaves you feeling less confident than before. It's more dependent on their approval, more uncertain about your own judgment. The key difference between genuine concern and controlling behavior lies in how they make you feel afterward. Real friends might voice concerns, but they respect your autonomy and ultimately support your right to choose. Controlling people disguised as friends make you feel incompetent, reckless, or foolish for even considering something without their blessing. They also tend to offer unsolicited advice constantly, inserting themselves into decisions that don't involve them. They criticize how you spend your money, manage your time, handle your relationships, or live your life. Nothing you do is ever quite right in their eyes, and they make sure you know it. Jung recognized that the need to control others usually masks deep internal chaos. People who can't manage their own uncertainty and fear try to impose order on everyone around them. By controlling you, they avoid confronting the instability within themselves. Your independence threatens their fragile sense of security. Sign number 8. Constant unspoken competition. The 8th sign emerges through their inability to let you have any achievement without turning it into a contest. Any accomplishment on your side instantly becomes a stage for them to assert superiority. You share news about a promotion, and almost immediately they counter with stories about their own career steps, or insist they declined a similar offer because it didn't meet their standards. Mention an upcoming trip, and they jump into lengthy descriptions of the more impressive destinations they visited. You talk about exploring a new hobby, and they quickly claim long-standing expertise. This relentless competition has nothing to do with genuine self-assurance. It's insecurity that disguises itself as achievement. Your progress highlights the insecurities they carry, and instead of appreciating your success, they treat it like an attack on their self-worth. Each time you succeed, they feel diminished. So they rush to restore their sense of dominance by redirecting attention toward their own accomplishments. Over time, interacting with them becomes draining. You hesitate to share anything positive because you know it will spark another round of comparison. Normal conversation is replaced by a constant struggle for the upper hand, leaving little room for authentic connection or mutual support. The tension becomes even clearer when you excel in an area where they haven't. Their discomfort is hard to miss. They might question how noteworthy your achievement really is, or subtly diminish its significance. Their inability to offer sincere praise exposes the resentment they try to hide. Jung's work on the shadow explains this pattern. People who feel inadequate often project those feelings onto others. turning everything into a competition to avoid confronting their own perceived shortcomings. Your growth forces them to see aspects of themselves they'd rather ignore, and instead of facing that discomfort, they try to outshine you so they don't have to look directly at their own reflection. Sign number 9, the body's honest signals. The 9th sign lives in the details. Most people miss the involuntary physical reactions that reveal true feelings no matter how well someone tries to hide them. Words are easy to manipulate. Anyone can say the right things, offer compliments that sound genuine, or pretend enthusiasm they don't feel. But the body operates on a different system entirely. It responds to authentic emotions before the conscious mind can intervene and craft a more acceptable response. Watch for the micro-expressions that flash across their face when you share good news. That split second of disappointment or irritation before they paste on a smile. Notice how their jaw tightens when you talk about your accomplishments, or how their eyes go cold even while their mouth forms congratulatory words. These involuntary reactions last less than a second, but they tell the real story. Their body language shifts when you enter a room. Arms cross, shoulders turn slightly away. They create physical distance even in close quarters. When you're speaking, they might nod along, but their eyes drift, their foot taps impatiently, or their fingers fidget with their phone. The message is clear. They're tolerating your presence, not enjoying it. Touch tells another story entirely. Genuine affection comes with warmth and physical contact. But when someone dislikes you, even casual touches feel stiff and obligatory. Hugs are brief and lack any real embrace. High fives feel mechanical. There's no genuine warmth transferred through these interactions. Their voice carries truths, their words try to hide. Listen for the slight edge of irritation, the forced enthusiasm that sounds hollow, or the way their tone flattens when addressing you, compared to how animated they are with others. Vocal patterns don't lie. Jung emphasized that the unconscious always finds ways to express itself, and the body is its most honest channel. Someone can rehearse what they'll say to you, but they can't rehearse every muscle movement, every micro-expression, every subtle shift in energy. Trust what you observe in these unguarded moments. Sign number 10, the mirror of projection. The 10th and clearest indicator appears when someone charges you with the very behaviors they re-engaging in themselves. They say you're jealous while quietly resenting every achievement you reach. Insist you're insincere while presenting a carefully crafted persona to everyone else. They claim you're controlling when they're the ones subtly steering situations in their favor. They accuse you of spreading information while they've been repeating distorted stories behind your back. This pattern is projection in its purest form. Their accusations function as indirect confessions, exposing traits they can't bear to acknowledge within themselves. Confronting those qualities would disrupt the identity they depend on, so they shift the blame onto you to protect their self-image. These confrontations often feel disorienting because the claims don't match your actions. The confusion is understandable. You're being blamed for their internal conflicts, not anything you've actually done. Their words reflect their fears, insecurities, and hidden motives far more than they reflect your character. Jung emphasized that people disown unwanted aspects of themselves by placing them onto others. When someone repeatedly attributes behaviors to you that you haven't shown, they're revealing the parts of their personality they refuse to face. Its final sign ties every other pattern together, showing how their resentment and sabotage stem from unresolved issues they project outward instead of confronting within. These 10 signs reveal hidden dislike, even when masked by smiles. Trust your instincts, protect your energy, and invest in genuine relationships. Subscribe for more insights, and I'll see you next time.